Hi everyone! If you've been to places where even angels fear to tread, you're on the right channel. Let's heal the hell out of ourselves. I received a request to do this episode and I wasn't very sure whether I wanted to do it or not because it's not very pleasant to talk about. But I reckon if it helps someone, then, it's worth doing. And they were saying, why is their family, including the extended family members, acting so weird? Like they were keeping lots of secrets and they were ostracizing her and they were just generally acting weird. I remember the first time I sought for help, it was actually a cry for help to some of my extended family members about the abuse that I had been suffering silently for decades. I finally plucked up the courage to say it, not to mention all the years of gaslighting, me questioning myself, was it bad? Am I making a mountain out of a molehill? Is it really that bad? So anyway, I plucked up the courage and I told a few of them, and they were shocked. They said that they were shocked and saddened. Well, that's what they said anyway. And then when I told my sibling, they changed the subject and talked about trivial matters. And that was that. The only extended family member who actually asked me what happened was the only one I could have got some kind of support from, but I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to talk about it because I was scared of being re-traumatized. She might say, why are you making such a big deal? This is nothing, And the second reason I didn't want to talk about it is because sometimes telling the truth sounds so much like badmouthing. I mean, it sounds like badmouthing, maybe because we think it sounds like badmouthing because deep down somewhere we still think that we're making a big deal out of nothing. And somewhere deep down we're still clinging to the fantasy that it's not as bad as we think. And that was just survival mode from childhood. So when do we finally accept the truth, grieve, and move on? When do we do that? It took me a long time to get to this point, and I want to share it with you so that you don't take as long as I did. Obviously, naturally, we want to know what's going on. We want to know why they're behaving so weird. Was it something we did or said? What was it? But unfortunately, it took me years and years of observation to have an inkling of what it was. And I'm going to tell you the answer in 3 words. Follow the money. Yes, follow the money. It almost always gives you perfect clarity. You see, it's very baffling, wondering why people support the abusers, why they don't even for once, not even once, ask you how you are. Why do they side with the abuser when even in the past that they bitched endlessly about them, they don't even like them? And why do they ostracize you? Why do they always ostracize the real victim? I mean, why do they have family events and not invite you? I mean, it's okay not being invited. It's not that we want to go anyway. But the thing is that why do they even bother to lie that the invitation got lost in the post or they lost your number? These are just silly excuses. Why the masquerade? Maybe on some level it's because they know what they're doing. These are vultures. I mean, I really hate to compare animals with people. There's nothing wrong with being a vulture, In fact, vultures have a very superior code of ethics, far superior than certain humans. But let's just use it as a figure of speech, yeah? So these are vultures and they've already abandoned you. They abandoned you a long time ago. Except you probably didn't know it because you kept hoping. And because they're too cowardly to own up to it. So they pretend and you allow yourself to be strung along. So for your sanity, you have to decide whether you're going to continue staying emotionally or to cut them completely off. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, you've suffered most of your life, you've stuck with them, tried so hard to help them, and you've tried to have a healthy relationship with them, and you tried so hard to protect them from each other. Don't you deserve at least some financial compensation? Perhaps that's what's going through your mind now. Let's not even talk about love and acknowledgement. I think we're way beyond that. Let's talk about hard, cold cash, because that's always been the name of the game, hasn't it? Look, I'm not advocating, cutting off contact with anyone. That's entirely your choice, and I would never encourage you to do that. That's a very personal decision that's a choice you have to make by yourself. But I just want to tell you that you have to make a decision. I mean, how long have you been neither here nor there, a bit here and a bit there? When are you going to decide that you're going to be all out, be all in, or all out? It's not good for your sanity, to be neither here nor there. I mean, you can't move on. You can't focus on yourself and your healing. So I am not advocating one way or another. I'm just saying, give it a think and just decide. So let me touch on, the pros and cons of staying versus leaving for good. If you stay because you think you deserve your share of the pie, then you have to play the game. You have to play the game on their uneven turf and by their terms, by their rules. Can you do it? Can you outsmart them? Are you strong enough to beat them at their own game? But if you decide to leave, then you have to be very, very focused on healing yourself. Focused on the people who do love you. Focus on, your children, your pets, friends who have been loyal to you. And then focus on raising your spiritual vibration so that you attract better circumstances to your life and shift your reality. Both scenarios can happen, but both are difficult. So which would you choose? I take a positive view on this. I mean, if you've tried your best and they continue to ostracize you, if you've tried your best to protect them from each other, if you've tried your best to have a healthier relationship with them and they still don't seem to want that, they don't seem to want a better relationship with you, then take this as a sign that the universe is pushing you out of this morally bankrupt life. Sometimes that's why it happens. Sometimes that's why you're being ostracized, not because there's anything wrong with you, not because you're worthless or anything like that, but because the universe is coordinating everything to help you get out of it, to help you raise your vibration, to help you heal yourself, and to help you move towards a better life, move towards a healthier life with healthier people and healthier circumstances. You just have to be brave enough to leave one place in order to jump to another. So if you have a success story about this, about cutting off contact, do share it in the comment section, because I'm sure a lot of my viewers would really appreciate the moral support that this community provides. So thank you so much for being here with me. You take care, and I'll see you soon.